Good afternoon. Welcome to RSBN Live. I'm Matthew Alvarez as we are looking live there, of course, at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Quite the morning of coverage with Robert McNeely here in studio as we saw President Trump speaking at the Oval Office, giving an update on the jobs report and also seeing Fort Bragg get its rightful name. So a lot of coverage from this morning. And of course, today, President Trump, ending the week with more executive orders at about 2:30. That's the schedule that we're seeing right now. So as soon as we get that feed, we'll go there. But also at 3 o'clock, we see that the president's actually going to be speaking to this Digital Assets Summit. So it's in the State Dining Room. It's the delivering remarks at the White House Digital Assets Summit. So that'll be happening at about 3 o'clock. So we'll be bringing you those two elements live as they happen. Of course, we'll go over some of the Oval Office sound bites that we heard from President Trump from earlier. Of course, talking again about those numbers, also talking a little bit about the Russia-Ukraine situation, just wanting peace to be the main topic there and, of course, the main next step. So he's interacting with both leaders to get that done, and so are he and that great all-star cast of his cabinet, a number of people working on that within the war situation there in Ukraine. So we're going to be covering a number of items today. Of course, also, there's a pretty cool patriotic video that we'll show you that President Trump and the team has released as well. So we'll get to that in just a minute, but all of it brought to you by Colonial Metals Group. Of course, all you have to do is go to freegoldguide.com/RSBN for more information. So it's freegoldguide.com/RSBN. Of course, tax-sheltered IRA, 401k, all backed in gold and silver. It's always good to have that backup plan, especially with the urgent retirement warning that's out there by Colonial Metals Group and others. It's really good to shield your savings, whether that's retirement or just a nest egg, in gold and silver. So you get more information on Colonial Metals Group. So go to freegoldguide.com/RSBN. All right, so it's 2:32 Eastern Time. Of course, we'll be taking you to more live coverage there, looking beautifully at the White House, the Capitol building, as we are going into the weekend, of course. As Robert was saying this morning, hopefully you have wonderful plans this weekend as we're turning a great corner to greatness in this nation. We've seen that the ship was going in the wrong direction in our country, but thankfully on November 5th and now January 20th and now less than 50 days into President Trump's second administration, that huge ship called America has turned around and it's going in the right direction. So we're monitoring it here at the network, of course. Let's go to a video from earlier today where it's very patriotic, very fun, and very encouraging on this Friday, March 7th. Take a look.
And we are just getting started. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation, we must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Quite the video there by the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, putting that together with his team. As if you look at some of the things that are going on social media, I won't get too much into it, but there's this Mortal Kombat video that's going on where some Democrats, they jump and they hop like this, and it's just very cringe. I showed it to my wife yesterday, and she's like, that's really cringe. But President Trump and the White House actually put out a video as well. You have to check that out on the White House X page. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you'll see the video that shows now, President Trump and the First Lady, Pete Hegseth, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and others saying this is the answer to that video that's out there. So for those of you who know what I'm talking about, it's quite awesome. If you don't know, Again, go to the White House X page to check out this video. It's pretty awesome. As it's 2:35 Eastern, it's always great to see so many awesome videos out there on the campaign trail as well. You remember the Dilly team doing so many great videos as well, you know, encouraging the Patriots, encouraging all of us as we continued on that march to November 5th, and now a victory for the president. And great to see that, and great to see all of the things happening around the Washington, D.C. region, also with all of the cabinet picks that are, you know, taking away the corruption that's happening in our country. So we'll have some live interviews coming up to talk a little bit about that in just a minute, as we are waiting for the executive orders that will be signed by President Trump at the Oval Office. And then he'll be also speaking to the White House Digital Assets community there, a conference inside the White House. So we'll go to both of these as we get replays or live of each of the events right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Speaking of the Oval Office, just a little bit earlier today, if you caught our prior broadcast, the president spoke for quite some time to the reporters about the jobs report that is just out, and good numbers for manufacturing. We'll get into some of those numbers in just a second, but here's one of those sound bites from earlier today.
So we'll talk about the manufacturing turnaround, and it's been very early, but it's pretty significant. The numbers were much better, as you know, than projected by the media, and a little surprising actually how strong, how fast, because we have many companies are moving into our country. As you probably know, it's a statistic that everyone talks about, but nobody seems to have done much about. Since the beginning of NAFTA, there's been 90,000 plants and factories closed in this country. Think of that. 90,000 plants and factories have been closed in this country. Many of them have been car manufacturing plants. And that's a terrible statistic, and we'll be turning that around. You're going to see it already. We already have numerous that are being built or starting to be built, and numerous that were being built in other countries, and they stopped, and they're coming here now because of the tariffs. And that's a big deal. That's what you want to hear. During the last year, the Biden administration saw a loss of more than 110,000 manufacturing jobs, or 9,000 manufacturing jobs every single month. It averaged about 9,000 a month, 110,000 manufacturing jobs. During the first full month in office, we've not only stopped that manufacturing collapse, but we've begun to rapidly reverse it and get major gains. We created 10,000 manufacturing jobs in February alone. That hasn't happened in a long time. And these aren't government jobs, which actually we cut. These are private sector manufacturing jobs. So we gained all of those jobs, 10,000 jobs, and we barely started yet. That's a very unusual number. People are surprised by it. I'm even a little surprised.
And there's actually a graphic out there that shows some of the details that President Trump's talking about. We'll get to that in just a second. But all of this brought to you by some great sponsors here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. Home Title Lock. You're about to see the information there on your screen right there. HomeTitleLock.com/RSBN. Did you know that scammers can literally steal your home right out from under you? The FBI actually calls this house stealing, and it's a growing real estate scam targeting American homeowners. So I never heard of it until this group, because you know what? When the FBI is talking about it, we're seeing law enforcement talk about it. This house stealing situation, definitely some red flags there. This is the group that can help you out with that. So criminals basically, we're told, forge your signature on one document, use a fake notary stamp, pay a small fee, and file it with your local recorder's office. And just like that, your home title is stolen from you. Then they can take out loans using your equity as collateral, or even sell the property behind your back. So all you have to do is get this $1 million triple lock protection, which will help keep your home and your equity safe. So here's what you get. You'll get immediate 24/7 monitoring of your property, urgent alerts if there are any changes, and if fraud should happen, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend that $1 million, up to $1 million, to fix the fraud and restore your title at no additional cost. So a lot of great features there with Home Title Lock. We'll get to more of that in just a bit. A wonderful sponsor here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, as it's 2:39. Couple more events today for President Trump. We'll bring it to you live or right away on tape playback here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Before President Trump will board Marine One from the South Lawn, head over to Joint Base Andrews, hop on Air Force One, and hopefully enjoy a weekend, even though he always works, regardless. He's always working, I think, every day of the week. Even if it's, 5 hours on a Sunday, that's a lot of work for a Sunday. Or if it's 4 hours on a Saturday. I don't know the numbers, but we just know that it's actually great to see that we have someone that's working so hard for us. And also the entire cabinet, this all-star cast of patriots that just continues to go to bat for the American people in a real common sense way. It's wonderful to see that. Let's look at that graphic for the jobs report. America is back to work, it says there. The manufacturing rebound that we're hearing, that the auto sector led the way with 8,900 plus jobs in February, altering the losing of, or this is after losing 27,300 jobs the year before. Manufacturing surveys confirm strong recovery, hitting highest levels in 2+ years. And then also 93% of February's job gains came from the private sector. During Biden's final quarter, private investment collapsed by 5.7% as government spending surged. But what isn't collapsing is the optimism by CEOs. The confidence by CEOs, as reported by the Conference Board, has actually surged to the highest level in 3 years. Small business optimism saw its biggest ever single-month surge post-Trump election. So we know President Trump, of course, one of his many skills and natural-born skills other than leadership is, of course, negotiations, peace through strength, but also business. So we're seeing him do that greatly with our country, but also the Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, a great friend of President Trump, but also someone that knows about trade and tariffs and the economy. Quite awesome to see all of that. Let's actually go to a Trump Truth Social post on tariffs that we can read to you there. The head of the United Auto Workers of America just stated that the tariffs are necessary to correct years of abuse of the USA by other countries and companies. We have lost 90,000 factories and plants since the beginning of NAFTA. So this person here, President Trump, is talking about, saying he is 100% correct. So great to see from the private sector, people saying this is the right thing to do for our country. And, we saw great things happen under the first administration. We just had to deal with so much crap from the last administration. So digging out of all of that, but obviously President Trump with executive order after executive order for the American people, quite awesome to see. Specifically, let's go to the southern border here in just a second. As we've seen our military, from Marines to the Army to the National Guard to even state and county and local, everyone bonding together for the decline of the amount of illegal aliens crossing the border. So one video we have is from California. This is our U.S. Marines, taking care of the southern border on a mission there. So take a look at this video.
We are specifically reinforcing the border by emplacing wire obstacles across the border. We have different types of wire obstacles at the top and at the bottom of the California border to ensure that it is impeding the progress of anyone trying to enter illegally, either through the top or through the bottom. On average, different units out here are averaging about 150 to 180 meters of obstacle a day. So top and bottom spans about 150 meters a day, and placing it across the border to include welding on metallic brackets and emplacing the wire onto the brackets.
Keeping our country safe from any illegal aliens that might want to cross over and basically cause harm to the American people and the American citizens.
Okay, so that was from March 1st in Southern California. So from California to Arizona to New Mexico to Texas, we're seeing all of our troops and others down there, of course, are great agents with Customs Border Protection working together all on the southern border to take care of everything along that region there. Also, the numbers have dropped dramatically. I mean, 229 people coming across the border in one day compared to 11,000 per day on average under Biden. And that 229 number is dropping as well. Now the problem is the fentanyl situation still coming through various ways. President Trump has his eye on that with his team, especially the cabinet, of course. You know, the vice president, J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard were also just at the border just the other day. So that obviously was one of the number one promises to the American people. That's getting taken care of. So it's great to see our Marines down there taking care of that border situation. All of this brought to you by Kalshi, a great sponsor for Right Side Broadcasting Network. And right now, if you want to look at it, it says, what will Trump say at the crypto summit? It says here that they'll talk about Coinbase, 49% saying that. I see we see American Financing right there. I'm not sure if we have the Kalshi sponsor ready to go, but American Financing also a great sponsor. Guys, should we go to American Financing or Kalshi? Please let me know. There we go. Perfect. No, you got it. All right, let's go to what will Trump say at the crypto summit. So we're seeing all different percentages there. 71% talking, of course, about cryptocurrency. The SOL, Solana, 54, blockchain at 39, and MicroStrategy at 24%. So right now, you can actually go on Kalshi. You can put in your bets. This is legal to do, and it's a great sponsor here at Right Side. So what will President Trump say at the crypto summit? That's what's coming up here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. We'll have that live for you from the White House, including as we see any video of President Trump signing more executive orders. So Kalshi is quite awesome. There's so many fun things to talk about on there. And you can actually put the question out there for the world to see. And if it catches, you know, a lot of people will be betting live right now. So you can do that on Kalshi as we speak. I'm at the app right now as well. So Kalshi, a great sponsor here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. Meantime, let's get to a live interview as we get ready to see President Trump in a little bit. This is a conservative author and a conservative commentator, T.S. Dixon, joining us live. I know you've been doing your media rounds. I've seen you on various conservative media networks. The book that you have out there, it seems that people are just starting to say, you know what, this guy's onto something. So it's great to have you on the show. But outside of that, can you talk to us about the situation with Doge and the fact that all these cabinet members are really cleaning the corruption up one department at a time for our country, and everyone loves it, don't they?
It's incredible. You know, Doge is doing the work of massive institutional reform, and they're starting with the money. You know, they always say, follow the money. So you see Elon is coming in with his software systems, AI, and his team of young tech wizards, and they are getting to work. So I'm very impressed with the job that they're doing, identifying the fraud, the abuse, the waste, and then also identifying crimes that can be referred over to Pam Bondi, the Department of Justice, so that we can start setting some examples that in this country, we're a nation of laws, and if you break our laws, you engage in corruption, you're going to be punished and held accountable. Exactly, and that's what we're seeing through various parts of the government right now. It seems as if on Tuesday night after that speech, there was like a huge burden of just that heaviness over our country was lifted. Do you agree? Can you talk to us about the speech a little bit and just how the country should move forward after the speech in the sense of, yes, for victory, but also to be vigilant, right? You know, his speech was almost as if he's done so much since inauguration that it was almost like he's been in office for 2, 3, or 4 years giving the State of the Union address. It's sort of amazing just to think that he's only been in office for a few weeks, but he just came in ready to go. He and his team and his strategists are brilliant people, and they have prepared an incredible agenda and executive action plan. And they have been hitting the ground running, I think over 200 executive actions on day one, or the first 24 hours, and then all of the consequential follow-up decisions that he's been making. He's doing a great job with foreign affairs and foreign relations and these negotiation tactics with the tariffs, getting us into a reciprocal fair situation with trade and our trade imbalances. So he is bringing money, jobs, economic prosperity back to the country, back to families, back to individuals. He's doing a great job. It was amazing watching his address to the joint session of Congress, just how much of a bump on the log, negative, gargoyle-ish, the Democrats came across to the public, because they're in a state of shock. They're stunned right now. They thought they were going to win with Kamala. They lost everything. They lost the House, the Senate, and the White House. And they don't know how to respond. I think gradually you're seeing them get their energy back. But you could see they couldn't even stand up and clap for a 13-year-old boy battling cancer, which was a tender-hearted moment when Trump honored him and made him an honorary Secret Service agent, which he was just thrilled. I mean, it was like watching a dream come true for him. So you see how nasty and vicious and hateful the Democrats really are. They can't muster up even the PR marketing impulse to control their optics.
Yeah, it was quite amazing to see all of the right side of history with everybody standing up and clapping, and then the left side of the aisle there. It was really awful to see that. But outside of that, we're seeing a lot of victory, a lot of winning for President Trump, for the all-star cast of patriots he has in the cabinet. That we, the people, we feel good. We're going in a great direction. It's pedal to the metal. Outside of that, we still know that, even in your book, I know I read it before, and it's quite awesome, the woke mind virus, is that these people still wouldn't give up, though, or they won't give up. Am I right? I mean, I remember hearing it said that
Correct.
When a shark is about to get captured, that's when they're most wild. Is that all true?
Yeah, well, the reference in the book is really about, that was talking about the globalists trying to subdue and demoralize the United States and other Western countries, where when you're fishing for a shark, you get him on the line, and then you wear him out over several hours, and once he's out, the fight is out of him, you reel him in and harvest him, and that's sort of how they looked at us as countries. But little did they know that we had more fight left in us, and we fought, and we had leaders and champions like Trump and others that had a lot of fight in them. I mean, just look at what Trump fought through, just the combativeness of them trying to sabotage his first administrative agenda, the endless investigations, the Russia hoax, 2 impeachments. They released COVID during his first term. And then you had the ballot boxes, the stolen election, followed up by an endless amount of trumped up fake charges, trying to put him in jail, lock him up, fake felonies. And then the cherry on top were 2 assassination attempts that we know of. There might have been more. So the things that this guy has endured, he's beyond a shark. He's beyond a great white shark. I mean, this guy's a whale, and they hooked a fish much bigger than they were ready to reel in, and now he's in there dominating. So go Trump.
Yeah, amen to that, definitely. All right, so T.S. Dixon, thanks again for joining us here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Hope to see you again soon.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. All right, so it's 2:52 right now Eastern time as we get ready to see President Trump from the White House. Of course, 2 different live opportunities here in just a minute. One, the Oval Office, possibly with the playback of executive order signings, and also the cryptocurrency event, this digital asset summit that's going to be done here shortly on Right Side Broadcasting Network. So let's go to a commercial break. We'll be right back on Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
Parents, do your kids know what courage really means? It's about standing up for America even when there's a target on your back. That's why Mike Huckabee's team created the Kids Guide to the Courage of the President. This important guide tells kids everything they need to know about President Trump's unwavering courage, and you can get it for free. With your free order, you'll receive free bonus gifts, including the Kid's Guide to President Trump and a Christmas ornament commemorating Trump's call for us to fight. Get it all for free at freeTrumpBook.com. That's freeTrumpBook.com.
Hey y'all, it's Silk from the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat live show. Look, don't forget to check me out right here on RSBN Network. Be sure to watch the show on Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. Yes, it's imperative that you do so, okay? I look to see y'all soon. Bye-bye.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
All right, welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're just a few minutes from the top of the hour on this Friday, March 7th. Thanks so much for streaming in live as we get ready to go to the White House for 2 events. One is the executive order signing, and then also President Trump will be speaking at a White House digital asset summit there for some remarks. So as soon as we see those feeds, we will take you there live. If it's a recorded event, we'll be showing it to you right when it's over, as that's kind of how it works. It's either live or right away. We'll play it back for you here on Right Side. Great sponsors, including Byrna, the less lethal launcher. So all you have to do is go to Byrna.com/RSBN. You'll get 10% off right away with this alternative to deadly force, proudly American, of course. They have 2 kinetic rounds, so it's 2 hard rounds, and then there's 2 chemical rounds where there's tear gas. And we know that about 5% of law enforcement across the country actually carry the Byrna product, and they sold more than 500,000 products in just 5 years. This is a really nationally known company here, Byrna.com/RSBN. So just save that 10%, but also know that about 99% of altercations, we're told from law enforcement, don't acquire deadly force. So in those in-between situations where it's less lethal, you have this as a thing to protect you. So you go to Byrna.com/RSBN for more information. Great sponsor here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're just 3 minutes from the top of the hour. Thanks so much again for streaming in. As soon as we see our live feeds, we'll go there. In the meantime, if you remember on January 20th, 2025, Pastor Lorenzo Sewell out of Detroit, Michigan, 180 Church, all right? So he's a pastor there. Well, he was the one that was praying at the service there of the inauguration ceremony. So we caught up with him just recently. Here's that interview. Joining us now on RSBN is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell, of course, out of Detroit, Michigan, traveling the country right now. How you doing, sir?
I'm Holy Ghost happy to be here and be a voice for the voiceless in our communities.
Exactly. I mean, it's awesome to see all of us conservatives out here just doing the best we can, using various talents for our country and freedom. Talk to us about what you're up to these days. I know we saw you, of course, on January 20th with that mighty prayer at the U.S. Capitol Rotunda, and then also earlier this week out there in D.C. So just your thoughts about what's been going on.
Well, we have a gubernatorial race happening in our country in a couple of years. We know 2026, we have a race in which many of our states will be selecting a new governor. However, we also have a local election that will be happening in Detroit. It will be happening this November. So what am I doing? I am simply obeying what Jesus has called me to do with the talents that he's given me as it pertains to election integrity. Can you imagine our founding fathers penning the greatest document that has ever been written in English. Can you imagine them declaring our freedom? Can you imagine perhaps Hancock looking at Jefferson and saying, one day America would become a nation that people would cheat and that we would do nothing about it? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine our forefathers never calculated that we, the people, would allow elections to be stolen and do nothing about it? And our great president, President Donald J. Trump, he was the first person to say it. In our context in Detroit, we've had Democrats step up and talk about elections being stolen. It started first in 2017 with Garland Gilchrist, who ran for city clerk. He lost that election and he began to examine how there were more people that voted than were actually listed in precincts. We also see Victoria Burton Harris. She ran for the prosecutor seat, and she also said there was cheating. And we just saw last year in the congressional race that Mary Waters, she ran against Sheree Tanadar, and she also said 15,000 absentee ballots came in. This isn't about a Democrat thing. This isn't about a Republican thing. This is about an American thing. And if you are an American, we should believe for one day paper ballots, IDs, and that's what I'm fighting hard for.
Exactly, and that's part of President Trump's core agenda, the 20 promises he shared. One of them is to secure the elections. We know he won and shocked the world in 2016, becoming the 45th president in 2017. We know he shocked the world again in 2020 with a great win, but then it was taken from us. We saw what happened there. And then it was too big to rig for 2024. But moving forward, to your point, regardless if it's the presidential election or any election across the country, to tackle this the way you're doing is joining a huge force of people that just want free and fair elections in this nation.
Absolutely. And when you look at our case in the Eastern District Court, so we have a case, and this case started because we were recalling a city council member. This council member would win for the last 12 years by the same amount of votes. So Detroiters begin to say, hold on for a second, how can you win? It's mathematically impossible to win by the same number of votes. So we did a voter recall. We looked at the ballots, and we began to see that there were people from our community that voted absentee that had never voted a day in their life. Our court case, we have evidence that there are vulnerable people. This is why it's a civil rights issue. It's not a black issue. It's not a white issue. This is a civil rights issue. They are targeting, in the state of Michigan, they are targeting people who are high transients, meaning they lived in Detroit and then they left. Low propensity people that maybe voted once or maybe none. They're targeting this very vulnerable, unstable group of people in terms of housing and in terms of voting. They target them. And then the state of Michigan is voting straight ticket absentee Democrat. They're doing it by the tunes of hundreds of thousands. And we're saying enough is enough. That's why we were on Capitol Hill today with over 80 people from Detroit.
Exactly. And on top of that, what's that like to be a pastor and now working in politics? Most of the time that people are like, oh, don't mix those two. But you know what? That's wrong. You got to mix those two. I mean, that's what we got to do.
People forget Dr. Martin Luther King had his doctorate in theology. People forget Dr. Martin Luther King, the reason why he was such a powerful patriot, pastor, and prophet, because he changed policy, right? We understand those key policies. And even today, HUD, when we look at HUD in terms of that legislation, that passed because of King's assassination, right? King was assassinated in April, 120 days later. That's when HUD passed. So we see even major entities like HUD, and we see the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act. These powerhouse landmarks all happened because of a pastor. And I plan on taking up his mantle so we can see the 1,000 majority black cities that he never saw. Can you imagine that? We have 1,000 majority black cities, but they all are the worst cities to live in. I plan on making that crooked way straight and making that rough way smooth. And I'm so excited that God decided to use me to do it.
And also using the Secretary of HUD, Scott Turner, who prayed at the beginning of that cabinet meeting. What were your thoughts about that?
I mean, he's so powerful. We know he's a pastor. We know he's a man of God. I have his cell phone number. He's a great leader. And look, finally America can be Christian again. I don't know if we have somebody saying that, make America Christian again, right? Geez, for the last 4 years, you couldn't do what? You couldn't pray. You couldn't say you were a Christian. Last 4 years, or any religion, right? Maybe if you it didn't matter the religion. You felt as if you had to go into the closet, but I thank God that we're coming out of our conservative caves, out of our conservative closets, and we can be proud again to love the Bible and love our country.
It is great to have freedom reigning again in America. Pastor Lorenzo Sewell out of Michigan, sir, thank you so much for what you're doing out there. We hope to have you again on the show. Thanks again.
Thank you.
And so that was, again, Pastor Lorenzo Sewell, who prayed on January 20th inside the rotunda there, just that heartfelt prayer. And it's great to see that happening. I mean, if you think about the beginning of that cabinet meeting just a couple weeks ago, or actually just last week, it's all running together because of the amount of great things that are happening in our country. But when the Secretary of HUD, Scott Turner, prayed before that as well. So it's great to have spirituality and faith a part of what we're all doing here in our country. So again, it's 3:05 Eastern. Let's go to call sheet one more time. Let's see the latest percentages on what President Trump will say at this White House Digital Assets Summit. It's a crypto summit that call sheet's calling it there. And you can see various percentages right now. This is all live right here on the screen. So you can check it out for yourself if you'd like. You can download the Call Sheet app. You can go to the website. You see some of that information right there, callsheet.com/RSBN. So what will President Trump say at the crypto summit? And I have one that I'd want to add on Call Sheet. I did a poll yesterday. If you guys were watching some of the SpaceX launch with the 8th launch of the Starship, and then of course the unfortunate situation there of that test flight, they lost contact with that. But also what was great was that super heavy booster was able to come back down and land and get right there between the arms. You know, President Trump talks about that in various speeches. Well, I asked on my Truth Social account, I said, for citizen space travel, would you go or not? And I think about 78% of the people said no way, and about 20% or so said, well, definitely I would do it. So quite interesting. But it's a similar thing here with Call Sheet. You can ask those kind of questions on there, get percentages, but actually this is for betting purposes, and it's all legal there, callsheet.com/RSBN. All right, so we heard from President Trump at the Oval Office earlier today talking about the fact that he will be, quote, going to Saudi Arabia early next week. So we'll be obviously following that trip to the Middle East, as President Trump will be discussing various things there, including having discussions with people between Ukraine and Russia to take care of that deal, and some other reasons there, of course, that would be good investments for our country. So we'll be looking into that great trip as we see it. Again, as we're live at 3:07, Call Sheet, of course, what will Trump say at the Crypto Summit, which is going to be airing here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Okay, let's go back to some prior videos. If you're just starting with us right now at 3:07, there's this video that the team has played from the right side of the aisle, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. We'll take a look at that video in just a second, and also we'll get back into the manufacturing and jobs reports and numbers that we're seeing from President Trump and the team just in less than 50 days in office. Can you believe the amount of great things that have happened in areas of our country and our departments and all of the cabinet levels? So wonderful to see that. And we can go to that America's Back video as soon as that's ready to go, as we are live at 3:08 Eastern Time. Let's go to that right now.
America is back. And we are just getting started. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation, we must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
So always good to see that encouraging type of video on the right side of history there. President Trump earlier today saying, based on the fact that Russia is absolutely pounding Ukraine on the battlefield right now, I'm strongly considering large-scale banking sanctions, other sanctions and tariffs on Russia until a ceasefire and final settlement agreement on peace is reached. To Russia and Ukraine, get to the table right now before it's too late. Thank you. So we see President Trump, of course, working really hard to get this peace deal done with Russia and Ukraine. So again, we'll be going to the White House here shortly as soon as the live feed warrants. It's the White House Digital Assets Summit. And let's go once again back to Kalshi, a great sponsor here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. We know that you can go to kalshi.com/RSBN. You see the information there on your screen. So what President Trump says or doesn't say during this speech will have an impact on crypto, Bitcoin, and many different assets. On Kalshi, you can actually live trade on what Trump will say during the Crypto Summit speech today. You can trade on whether he will mention Bitcoin, meme coins, Gary Gensler, Ethereum, Solana, and more. You can trade now live on kalshi.com/RSBN. You can also trade on his press conferences and other speeches in the future. Go to kalshi.com/RSBN to trade on the Crypto Summit speech today. So a wonderful sponsor here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, and many great questions to check out there at kalshi.com/RSBN. All right, so let's look at some of the numbers with the infographic that we saw from earlier today. President Trump and the team putting out a graphic saying America is back to work. Manufacturing rebound. Auto sector led the way with 8,900 jobs in February after losing 27,300 jobs the year before. Manufacturing surveys confirmed strong recovery, hitting highest levels in 2+ years. The private sector leads were told 93% of February's job gains came from the private sector. During Biden's final quarter, private investment collapsed by 5.7% as government spending surged. We're told that optimism is soaring, and we've seen that from various CEOs as well. CEO confidence, as reported by the Conference Board, has surged to the highest level in 3 years. So small business optimism saw its biggest ever single-month surge post-Trump election. So great to see that. And on top of that, President Trump talking about tariffs on Truth Social earlier today. If you'd like to take a look at that, Truth Social posts as we put it up on the screen in just a minute. We just know that at the end of the day, the tariffs against China are all about the fentanyl coming through. Let's look at this here. The head of the United Auto Workers of America just stated that tariffs are necessary to correct years of abuse of the USA by other countries and companies. We have lost 90,000 factories and plants since the beginning of NAFTA, and he is 100% correct. So you see that there on the screen. So President Trump, of course, with a lot of posts today on the Truth Social account. And speaking of that, right now, Right Side Broadcasting Network is almost at 2 million followers on Truth Social. So great to see the numbers increasing on such an awesome site there. Let's go to some more information from earlier today. President Trump, of course, celebrating the manufacturing optimism and was touting thousands of those new jobs created during the first month in office. President Trump also said, quote, "I think the United States is going to be doing record business." He said that in the Oval Office. Also, we know that he said under the first full month of President Trump, which we haven't even gotten started yet, he says, President Trump, an incredible 93% of job gains. So that's those numbers there. So great to see that. And we're looking to see Maganomics, of course, increase all across this land as corruption is getting taken away from various departments, which is basically our government, right? So we're seeing that get taken away and being replaced with a healthier version or a healthier situation. You know, if a computer has a virus, you want to get rid of that virus and you want to replace it with something that is great and new and fresh and an update, a software update that is not corrupted. And we know that our country has been corrupted by so many people over the past decades, whether it's the mainstream media adding to that fire or it's just the corruption that goes deep into our nation. President Trump really cleaning and draining the swamp with he and his all-star cast of patriots out there. And on top of that, each department specifically looking and saying, okay, where can we make the cuts needed? Where can we keep? and where can we do things that'll make this department great, which in turn, all of those departments will help to make the entire country great again. So we know that to be true. We see that happening right now. It's awesome to see it day in and day out in Washington, D.C. And also, you're seeing it right here on Right Side. You're seeing each day, whether it's from the Oval Office like earlier today with Robert McNeely, or tonight as we get ready to go to some various coverage there at this Digital Assets Summit that President Trump will be speaking at. Also within the Oval Office, more executive orders today. And the question is there an EO regarding abolishing the Department of Education? Not sure if that's what's going to happen today with an executive order, but President Trump definitely saying that he wants to bring the education back to the states, and that, of course, a better situation for us as a whole. Especially, you know, it's interesting. Usually it's maybe a percentage of the corruption at the top of each department. Well, that's already getting cleaned out. But it looks like the Department of Education as a whole in the federal government just isn't needed. And that's what we're hearing from President Trump and the team. So let's go to a few sponsors, freetrumpbook.com. freetrumpbook.com. Of course, Mike Huckabee, the great U.S. ambassador to Israel, and also a great show in Arkansas, Tennessee, and a national show as well. And the book right there, freetrumpbook.com. It's not only that book, there's so many topics that you can get by just going to freetrumpbook.com. Great to have a reset in the sense of not what the globalists are talking about, but just the reset of the institutions that have taught so many of our youth such garbage and propaganda that is so anti our country, anti our Constitution, anti President Trump. Well, Mike Huckabee said, not on my watch. And so he's created these books. So freetrumpbook.com to get the truth of really what happened during the first administration, also the courage of the president, but also there's other books out there that talk about how elections work and just the Republican Democrat Party and just all that kind of stuff. Some basics of government, but you can get it all for free. freetrumpbook.com is the website. All right, so earlier today, of course, President Trump speaking at the Oval Office. Why don't we go to that soundbite of him talking about the manufacturing, the great things that he has done already in this less than 50 days of his second administration. Again, more than 9,000 manufacturing jobs. There's going to be a lot as the wave continues of greatness in this nation. All the winning as we watch it unfold here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. And of course, we'll be following today's developments as well from the White House with this Digital Asset Summit. And then on top of that, there's going to be some executive orders that will be signed today. So we'll see what those are. And on top of all of that, President Trump, of course, will board Marine One from the South Lawn of the White House a little bit later and head to the Southern White House, or the Winter White House, there at Mar-a-Lago for the weekend. Then we'll have, of course, coverage for next week, specifically President Trump saying that he'll be going to Saudi Arabia next week. So that's quite fascinating because that's his first trip out of the country. So we'll have that coverage as well. And then any other news that develops throughout our nation, we'll be going to that as well. So any breaking news at all, whether it's in the Washington area there, the inside the Beltway is what I'm trying to think of, and then outside the Beltway, we'll have that for you too. All right, so since we're not having a lot of live events going on right now, we've been waiting for this event there at the White House. We can go to a soundbite in the Oval Office from previously aired information from earlier today as soon as we get the directive for that to happen. If we don't have that on tap, we can go to the southern border video as well that I have for you here from California. This is from March 1st, where the U.S. Marines are setting up a lot of the metal wiring along the southern border. Of course, let's go first, though, to President Trump from the Oval Office, and then we'll go back to the southern border in just a minute.
So we'll talk about the manufacturing turnaround, and it's been very early, but it's pretty significant. The numbers were much better, as you know, than projected by the media, and a little surprising, actually, how strong, how fast, because we have many companies that are moving into our country. As you probably know, it's a statistic that everyone talks about, but nobody seems to have done much about. Since the beginning of NAFTA, there's been 90,000 plants and factories closed in this country. Think of that. 90,000 plants and factories have been closed in this country. Many of them have been car manufacturing plants. And that's a terrible statistic, and we'll be turning that around. You're going to see it already. We already have numerous that are being built or starting to be built, and numerous that were being built in other countries, and they stopped, and they're coming here now because of the tariffs. And that's a big deal. That's what you want to hear. During the last year, the Biden administration saw a loss of more than 110,000 manufacturing jobs, or 9,000 manufacturing jobs every single month. It averaged about 9,000 a month, 110,000 manufacturing jobs. During the first full month in office, we've not only stopped that manufacturing collapse, but we've begun to rapidly reverse it and get major gains. We created 10,000 manufacturing jobs in February alone. That hasn't happened in a long time. And these aren't government jobs, which actually we cut. These are private sector manufacturing jobs. So we gained all of those jobs, 10,000 jobs, and we barely started yet. That's a very unusual number. People are surprised by it. I'm even a little surprised.
So if you'd like to take a look at the Oval Office presser from earlier today, of course, all you have to do is go to Rumble, our great partner here in the sense of where we show a lot, of course, of all of our RSBN coverage. You can go to Rumble and check out all of the past videos, including from this morning inside the Oval Office there. And of course, all of these videos that are live, we upload them to Rumble and other social media platforms, of course, X, Facebook, our app, and of course, we're on YouTube as well. But at the end of the day, the free speech movement through Right Side Broadcasting Network, Truth Social, Rumble, and on, it's great to see that happen throughout the country. And also on the right side of history, the conservative media, where many people are starting to say, you know what, I'm out of here with this mainstream junk. I have to have someone that is trusted, that's been around for a while, that understands the way things work. Well, that is Right Side Broadcasting Network. They've been, and we've been since 2015, showing all of those rallies and all of that stuff based in the Constitution and not showing, taking away from the crowd size, and only staying on President Trump. We would show the crowds, and of course, we'd hear from President Trump and all of the different events that you've seen over the past several years, but also conservative media as a whole, just really taking a step for the American people. And we're seeing people slowly start to go toward conservative media, including Right Side Broadcasting Network. Let's go to the Oval Office right now.
And that's on the FIFA World Cup of 2026, which, as you know, is a big event. It's going to be the biggest event, I think. And Johnny, I think you're going to say a few words. Everybody knows this man on the right. He's sort of the king of soccer, I guess, in a certain way. He was the one that was able to give it to us, and we're going to do a fantastic job in making you at home. So I would very much appreciate it. First time it's ever been in this part of the world, and it's an honor. Thank you very much, Johnny.
Thank you. Thank you, President. Thank you, President. Well, it is a great achievement to bring the World Cup next year, the FIFA World Cup in 26 here in the United States, together with Mexico and Canada. And this summer, actually, we have a new competition, the FIFA Club World Cup in 25, from the 14th of June to the 13th of July, only in the United States of America. 11 cities, 12 stadiums, the best players in the world, the best teams in the world. America will welcome the world. There will be millions of people coming, Mr. President, millions of people. The economic impact is $40 billion between now and next year. We will create 200,000 jobs for these two World Cups, and more than that, we will give joy and happiness to the entire world, and this is priceless, definitely. So thank you, Mr. President, for setting up this task force, because it is important that everyone that comes to America feels safe, feels welcome, and that's why it's important that the government puts together this White House task force chaired by the President himself. It shows the importance of the FIFA World Cups, I should say, because There are many, many topics to deal with, of course, and we want everyone who comes to America and who goes to watch one of these games. We have 10 million tickets for sale. It's like 3 Super Bowls every day for 1 month. That everyone that goes feels safe, feels happy, and feels that we are doing something special. So we're here to create and to make the best show on the planet ever, and we'll do it together, Mr. President.
Oh, that's great. I love what he said, like 3 Super Bowls a day for a month. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's really amazing when you think of it. I've never heard that expressed. That's a lot. When we made this, it was made during my term, my first term, and it was so sad because I said, can you imagine I'm not going to be president? And that's too bad. And then what happened is they rigged the election and I became president. So that was a good thing. That was a good thing. That was quite an achievement for both of us. So I'll be president during the World Cup and during the Olympics, which we were very instrumental in getting. And then, of course, we have our 250th birthday, too, and of that I wasn't instrumental. That just happened to fall on the same time. So we have those 3 big events. You don't get very much bigger than that, the Olympics, the World Cup, and number 250. And it's a great honor. But I appreciate your selecting us. And we were selected a long time ago, though, during the term, during my first term, and it's an honor to be with you, Johnny. You've been my friend for a long time.
Absolutely.
He's a great gentleman.
So much.
Okay, I'll sign this, and that makes it official, right?
That makes it official, yes.
That's good.
Here we are. Then we have to start working.
Can you talk a little bit about the halftime show that you anticipate for the championship? Will it be like the Super Bowl halftime show or better?
Well, the Super Bowl has around 100 million viewers or 150 million viewers. The World Cup final has 2 billion viewers. So we have to make it 20 times better and 20 times bigger than the Super Bowl.
I think it'll be better. I think it will be better.
Any idea of the economic impact of this in all these cities around the country? It's got to be huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It's around 40 billion in only the United States, $40 billion US dollars, the economic impact, 200,000 jobs created. So per city you can divide by 11 and you know a little bit what each city gets, more or less. Some cities get more, others get less. But we have, 10 million tourists coming, some with tickets, others without tickets, who just want to be here during these World Cups.
What team is favored now, if there's such a thing? I mean, do they have a team like so many of these great famous teams? What team seems to be favored?
Well, on the club one, which takes place this year, of course, Real Madrid, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, the Germans, Paris Saint-Germain, the French. The big ones are always there, and these clubs are multinationals. They have players from all countries.
They always seem to be there. Right?
They are always there.
Those great teams.
They are always there. Yeah. And then next year, Argentina, Brazil,
right.
England, Germany, Spain.
It's going to be great.
So it will be great.
Any questions for Johnny?
US is coming up. US is coming. Watch the US. Some very, very good players playing in Europe, but we need to bring them back here to play here.
So can the US win?
The US can win, yes, with the public behind.
See?
They playing some of the top teams.
He knows.
Yeah. They playing some of the top teams.
There's a shot, right?
Yeah, there is a shot. Absolutely, yes.
That's great. Well, we'll hold that up for you guys. Ryan, did you have another question?
I was just going to say, this continues your pursuit to bring America back in every aspect, the economy, world peace, sports now, which is awesome. I want to preview a little bit of the Olympics. I know you've talked about that before.
Well, I'm just very happy to have done it. I mean, I didn't think this was going to happen. I said, I'll be sitting there, but not as president, so I was, very honored. Actually, Johnny reminded me, called me up very early on. He said, you're going to be president during this whole thing after we won. So it's a great honor for our country to have it, actually. It's a big deal. It's, I don't know which is bigger, the Olympics or the World Cup. What is the story on that? Can I ask you that question?
The World Cup is much, much, much bigger than the Olympics. Come on. and it's in the whole country. Huh?
Yeah,
the Olympics
we've
is
got
in
them
one
both.
Mr. President, it's a long way off, Mr. President, but do you foresee yourself attending some matches or a match?
Oh, yeah, sure. I would like to. I'd like to go to certainly more than one.
Yes.
We'll be making the rounds. It's a period of a month.
Yeah.
And it's really top of the line. It's one of the great events, maybe one of the great events of anywhere in the world.
Yes.
Mr. President, since you last spoke about it yesterday, some details have come out about your cabinet meeting with Elon Musk and some clashes potentially between Secretary Rubio and Secretary.
No clash. I was there. You're just a troublemaker. And you're not supposed to be asking that question because we're talking about the World Cup. Elon gets along great with Marco, and they're both doing a fantastic job. There is no clash.
Mr. President, bottom line.
Who are you with? Who are you with?
NBC.
Oh, no wonder. That's enough. NBC.
Who has more authority, Elon Musk or the cabinet secretary?
Any other questions about the World Cup?
Can we unveil the trophy, maybe?
I'd love to do
because this is something something special. So today is 100 days to go for a new competition that we created together. The FIFA Club World Cup, the best clubs in the world with the best players in the world. So we can show this is a unique trophy. This is the trophy, but it's not finished because it's unlike any other trophy. There is a key.
Oh, wow.
There is no other sports trophy like that.
Oh, that is good. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to be kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait.
Wow. That's one of those things.
And that's the trophy.
That is something, huh?
We got to win now, Mr. President.
This is a good one.
That's beautiful.
Inter Miami and Seattle Sounders play
never seen
for this
anything
trophy.
like that.
It is it's a trophy of the future.
Yeah.
It represents the past, the future, everything, the present.
And this will be at the White House for a little while.
Yes.
So if anybody needs a picture or anything, you can take it. But this is.
If you like it, Mr. President, it can stay here. Just on the 13th of July, you should take it with me.
Let's leave it here.
To the stadium to give it to the winners. They can take a picture, then we bring it back here after the picture.
Let's do that. We'll leave it here. We'll have it in the White House quite a bit.
Excellent.
It travels a little bit also, but I appreciate it. That's good. And I know this can definitely stay, right? Anyway, thank you, Johnny, very much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
On the cabinet meeting, sir, just on the cabinet meeting, you said Musk play an advisory role. Doge will play.
We're talking about FIFA. Thank you very
About
much.
the World Cup, Mr. President, you're having.
And they're both great guys. And by the way, they both get along fantastically well. Marco has done unbelievably as Secretary of State, and Elon is a very unique guy who's done a fantastic job.
Do you think he needs to be reined in, Mr. President?
Enough. It's FIFA. Is this a FIFA question?
How do you see the World Cup playing out with the tensions you have with Canada and Mexico?
Oh, I think it's going to make it more exciting. Tension's a good thing.
Even for the World Cup?
Yeah, I think so. I think it makes it much more exciting.
Sir, the entire committee is here for FIFA with Johnny?
Please come up.
Would you like them to come up and take a picture?
Please, Johnny, come on. Get them up. That's great.
Mr. President, what type of enhanced security do you anticipate having for all of these big events
I'll let you.
that are happening over the course of the next week?
I'll let Christy answer that question.
Oh, answer what question?
Go ahead. Security.
The security for this event will be run by the Department of Homeland Security. So we are signing today this document that will say that we will form task forces and partnerships. We'll have incident command centers in these 11 cities that will partner all the agencies and departments at the federal. We'll have some worldwide partners as well, as long
Global
as,
level.
yes, it'll be under our umbrella, and we'll help facilitate that, but also working with our local law enforcement is incredibly powerful. So streamlining those communications, it'll be a wonderful event, and everybody will be safe and fun.
We better be, right?
Yeah, it will be.
And this is the official ball
Thank you very
with
much.
your name.
Thank you. Ooh, that's nice. I would give it to Christy, except it has my name on it.
We have another one for
it.
Of course.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Is that going to be the ball?
This is the official match ball.
This will be what it will look like the ball?
Yes.
When they play?
When they play.
Wow, that's
Yes.
great.
Yes, nobody has played yet.
That's great. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Johnny, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Columbia University, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, what can Columbia University do to restore the federal?
All right, so a feed there from the Oval Office, of course, of the White House, the FIFA committee there. You saw the Department of Homeland Security chief there, the security secretary, Kristi Noem, of course, talking about it'll be a secure event. But outside of that, you can always tell that the press is always trying to be the doom and gloom type of thing and interject all this other stuff. But you know what? Isn't it nice to breathe a sigh of relief that we have a great leader in this country, a great cabinet, and really great things happening in the country? It doesn't mean that we aren't vigilant of our safety and other things, but it's nice to have that enjoyment of sport. And also, speaking of sports, so yeah, the 2026 FIFA World Cup to be played in Los Angeles. Also, the 2028 Summer Olympics also to be in Los Angeles. So let's do this. Name your favorite sport in the chat. Let's just have fun with it. What's your favorite sport? Go ahead and put it in the chat if you'd like. Mine would be, it's between football and hockey for me. I really, really like hockey. Playoff hockey's fun. Football's also fun, especially here in the South in the SEC. Great to see college football. I've been to quite a few NFL games, but which one do you guys like? Do you like, how about golf? How about bowling? How about soccer, basketball, baseball, whatever sport? Anybody, if you're watching from overseas, cricket maybe? How about tennis? Anyway, so also in 2026, President Trump referred to the fact that our country, of course, will be turning 250 years old. So even in Agenda 47, before President Trump won the White House, as we won it with him, he said that at the Iowa State Fairgrounds, there would be this huge, huge party for our country. So in Iowa in 2026, on July 4th or right around that date, quite the birthday for our country for 250 years as we continue in greatness here at this country right now. Let's go to Kalshi as well. So what President Trump says or doesn't say during this upcoming speech outside of the Oval Office, where he's going to go to the state dinner room for a summit for digital assets. What he doesn't say during this speech will have an impact on crypto and Bitcoin and many different assets. So on Kalshi, as you can see there, you can actually trade on what President Trump will say during the crypto summit speech today. You can trade on whether he'll mention Bitcoin, meme coins, Gary Gensler. To be honest with you, I'm not in this space. So if I butcher these couple names, you know what? That's okay. So in the chat, help me out with this. How do you pronounce, is it Ethereum? And then is it Solana or Solana? So I'm not in that space. I know what Bitcoin is, though, and cryptocurrencies. I don't understand those names, though. So help me out with this one. Ethereum, Solana, and more. You can trade now live on kalshi.com/RSBN. You can also trade on upcoming press conferences and others speeches in the future. So kalshi.com/RSBN to trade on the Crypto Summit speech today, which is what's up next on the docket for today's coverage here live on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Again, I'm Matthew Alvarez. Thanks so much for streaming in. I said when we're transparent here at the network. So no teleprompter, just rolling with it, of course, here at 3:37 Friday, March 7th. Great to see President Trump there with the FIFA committee. And I saw some of the chats there. Again, what's your favorite sport? Go ahead and put that down on the chat. I'll read them out in a little bit as maybe we get some of those as we continue on with our live coverage today on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Let's shift gears quite a bit. Let's show you the southern border video one more time here. If you're just joining us right now, the U.S. Marines in California have been working really hard to seal that border using all of the wiring along the border. And also just their presence alone is really causing anyone not to cross the border, of course. So the numbers are down. We're seeing that. They also are working on trying to rid fentanyl from crossing not only the southern border, but also the northern border. So let's go to the south right now and check out this video.
We are specifically reinforcing the border by placing wire obstacles across the border. We have different types of wire obstacles at the top and at the bottom of the California border to ensure that it is impeding the progress of anyone trying to enter illegally, either through the top or through the bottom. On average, different units out here are averaging about 150 to 180 meters of obstacle a day. So top and bottom spans about 150 meters a day, and placing it across the border to include welding on metallic brackets and then placing the wire onto the brackets.
Keeping our country safe from any illegal aliens that might want to cross over and basically cause harm to the American people and the American citizens.
They're live as soon as that gets started, which may be any second now, as President Trump will be taking part in this summit inside the White House. A great group of people there. And there's the seat for President Trump. So as soon as we see him walk in, we will go there live. Back to the sports real quick. I saw all the main sports, of course, football, soccer, baseball, basketball, hockey. Somebody said ultimate frisbee. Somebody else said skateboarding. Somebody said curling, of course, in the Winter Olympics. So yeah, anyway, so that's the update on the chat there. But we are live, of course, at 3:40 Eastern, Friday, March 7th. As of now, this is the last event for President Trump before he goes to the Southern Lawn and goes to Marine One and on his way to the Joint Base Andrews to board Air Force One to the Winter White House, of course, in Florida. So any developments we get, you can always check online as well on Truth Social, on X, on our website, on our app. And then next week, I'm hearing that it's going to be early in the week. President Trump saying early in the week he'll be going to Saudi Arabia. So did not say specifically which day, but of course his first world trip as President of the United States of the 47th Commander-in-Chief. So we'll be covering that, of course, as we see live feeds from the Middle East, and just a very important trip there, of course. So we'll be covering that. And of course, any other events that are happening at the White House, maybe at the Pentagon, if there's a press briefing there. We've seen a lot of press briefings, of course, from the White House with Carolyn Leavitt, who did an absolutely awesome job just the other day, the day after that great speech that President Trump delivered in front of a joint session of Congress. And, when Carolyn started on Wednesday, the day after, in the monologue part, she just really tore into the Democrats for not standing up for various things that usually you would stand up for and clap, regardless of party affiliation. But the left wing really showing and exploiting, or really showing their cards of what they're all about. And we're not talking every Democrat and liberal across the country. We're just talking about the leaders here in the Democrat Party and, of course, the mainstream media. But enough of that stuff. Let's stay on the good stuff here and in the sense of truth and common sense at Right Side as we get ready to go live to this Digital Assets Summit. It's a White House Digital Assets Summit. President Trump will be speaking right there in the middle of your screen there. You see the podium or the presidential seal. This is huge for cryptocurrency today. This is a huge situation for digital assets and on. So looking forward to tossing it to that. And I know a number of you that are watching, you remember that summit that he had in Nashville, Tennessee, a Bitcoin summit. It was quite awesome. Isn't it great that President Trump isn't just staying in the past when it comes to certain things? He understands some of the developments here with these various currencies, but also, sticking to common sense and the Constitution. So wonderful to see that as well, as we are live right now here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Just checking a few notes here. Ethereum is how to pronounce that one as well for the digital assets from earlier. So we're looking forward to going there live. Why don't we do this for now? Let's go there now. Listen in on the room as President Trump will be walking in any minute.
He said he heard that. He said he heard that. I have not, so.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, there's nothing coming out of the remote.
Nothing?
Yeah,
Okay.
the remote's completely mute.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. Great honor to have you. I know you've all been working very hard and very successfully. And it's a wonderful place, the White House. I want to begin. Is Johnny here from World Cup? I want to thank you for the selection. And they just had a presentation in the Oval Office, and I thought this was such a beautiful, this is the trophy. This is a big deal. The World Cup is the biggest sporting event, and Johnny Infantino is my friend for a long time, and during my first term, we worked out a deal to get the World Cup, and then because of lots of interesting things that happened, I ended up being president. Wanted to shut up. I was always disappointed. I wasn't going to make it. I was going to serve 8 straight. Instead, we did it the hard way, but maybe the more important way. So I will be with you as president, Johnny. So maybe you could just say a few words and show how beautiful the World Cup trophy is. Thank you. Yeah, sure, please. Yeah.
The famous key.
That's a great key.
You want to open it, President? Or
Well, you go ahead. I trust you.
So this is the new of a new competition. It's called the FIFA Club World Cup. The 32 best clubs in the world with the absolutely best players in the world. And for the first time in history, this competition takes place in the United States. Opening game on the 14th of June.
Right.
Obviously in Miami. Final on the 30th of July this year in New York, New Jersey. But it's not that. It's really special because it is a key, and because, as you can see, if I manage to do that, yes, it's a bit tricky. It's not. So this is a trophy. It is a trophy which represents, and that's why I think it's interesting to show this trophy exactly in this format, because it represents the past, but it's also projected to the future. There is no sports trophy which looks like that. It has engraved the history of the game, of soccer or football as we call it, the participating teams of the first edition, the stadiums, beautiful stadiums in 11 cities in the United States of America where this competition will take place. So at the same time, past, present, and projected to the future. And if I may, President, say another 2 words, and then I let you work. I would like to congratulate the President and the administration for not only for the World Cup, the Club World Cup, the World Cup, and the great work done, but also for this initiative that you are speaking about here. If I may add something in this respect, I'm not an expert at all, but FIFA, as you know, is a brand which is globally known, a very strong brand. The soccer economy in the world is worth around 270 billion a year. 70% of that, Mr. President, is in Europe. So imagine the potential that there is around the world only in soccer if we develop it. And so FIFA is very, very interested under my presidency to develop a FIFA coin, to do it from here from America and to conquer the 5 billion soccer fans in the world. So if there is anyone here who is interested to team up with FIFA, here we are, together with the United States of America, and we will conquer the world of soccer with the FIFA coin. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That coin, that coin may be worth more than FIFA in the end. It could be quite a coin, actually. Huh? Anyway, thank you, Johnny. Great job. I just thought you should see this trophy because it's really, it's the biggest sporting event in the world, and we have it here. And we appreciate being selected. Thank you very much, Johnny. You do a fantastic job. And welcome to the first ever White House Digital Assets Summit. I know that many of you have been fighting for years for this, and it's an honor to be with you at the White House. I want to thank the White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs, Treasury Secretary. This is David right here, in case you don't know. You know David. And a man who's doing a great job as Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, who's right here. Scott, thank you very much. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, wherever you may be, Howard. Hi, Howard. He's doing some interesting work right now with all that's going on. He's right in the middle of it and doing a great job. Thank you. SBA Administrator Kelly Loeffler. And thank you. SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce. Thank you, Hester. Acting CFTC Chairman Caroline Pham. House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Hello, Tom. Representative Brian Stile. Thank you. Brian, thank you very much. Digital Assets Council Director Bo Hines. Good, Bo. Great job. And many other distinguished guests. We have a lot of very distinguished people around the table. Some of them will be speaking. I want to thank Marco Rubio also, who's right over there. And we have tremendous people very interested in this subject. And last year I promised to make America the Bitcoin superpower of the world and crypto capital of the planet. And we're taking historic action to deliver on that promise, as you know, around the table. Yesterday I signed an executive order officially creating our strategic Bitcoin reserve. And this will be a virtual Fort Knox for digital gold to be housed within the United States Treasury. That's a big thing, Scott. The federal government is already among the largest holders of Bitcoin, as you know. Really one of the largest holders in the world, with as many as 200,000 Bitcoin obtained via civil law and various other forms of law, and including enforcement actions. These existing holdings will form the foundation of the new reserve. Unfortunately, in recent years, the U.S. government has foolishly sold tens of thousands of additional Bitcoin that were worth billions and billions of dollars had they not sold them, but they did sell them, mostly during the Biden administration. Not a good thing to have done. From this day on, America will follow the rule that every Bitcoin knows very well: never sell your Bitcoin. That's a little phrase that they have. I don't know if that's right or not. Who the hell knows, right? Who knows? Who knows? But so far, it's been right. And well, let's keep it that way. The Treasury and Commerce Departments will also explore new pathways to accumulate additional Bitcoin holdings for the reserve, provided it's done at no cost to the taxpayers. We don't want any cost to the taxpayers. In addition, my order directs federal agencies to conduct an inventory of all crypto assets currently held by the U.S. government and determine how they can be transferred easily to the Treasury. Non-Bitcoin digital assets will be held in a new U.S. digital asset stockpile where they will be managed properly. My administration also is working to end the federal bureaucracy's war on crypto, which was really going on pretty wildly during Biden until the election came about. About 5 months before the election, he became a big fan because he heard how many people were in favor of it and how many people love it and respect it. But I guess it didn't work out too well for him. People understood what was going on and paved the way for groundbreaking innovations in institutional finance. Under the Bitcoin administration, regulators strong-armed banks. I mean, they really did. They strong-armed banks into closing the accounts of crypto businesses and entrepreneurs, effectively blocking some money transfers to and from exchanges, and they weaponized government against the entire industry. But I know that feeling also. Maybe better than you do. All of that will soon be over, and we are ending Operation Choke Point 2.0. Now, some people really suffered. It's ridiculous what they were doing, but in the end, they came around, but they came around for the wrong reasons. They came around only because they wanted votes, and they saw that tens of millions of people were against them because of what they were doing. I also want to express my strong support for the efforts of lawmakers in Congress as they work on bills to provide regulatory certainty for dollar-backed stablecoins and the digital assets market. They're working very hard on that. This is a tremendous opportunity for economic growth and innovation in our financial sector, and will really go a long way. I think it's going to be a tremendous, we feel like pioneers in a way, of tremendous method of growth. And things are very much tied, and we want to keep it that way, the U.S. dollar, long into the future. We're going to keep it that way. I hope lawmakers will send that legislation to my desk before August recess if they can. And they're very much working with you, and you know a lot of them, and a lot of them were committed right from the very beginning. So I just want to congratulate you all for being at the White House today, and a man who knows more about Bitcoin and AI and just about everything else than anybody, David Saxon. I'd like to have you say a few words, David.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're all here today because of your leadership, your vision, and your generosity, and I really want to thank you for that. We're also here because of your desire to make America great and to introduce a golden age in America, including for digital assets. And we're here because of your love of innovators, or as you might say, high IQ people. Yeah, we know you love high IQ people. And we have about 30 of them here in the room today. These are the top people in the digital asset industry. And one other thing that I think that you love is legal fairness. This is an industry that was subjected to prosecution and persecution for the last 4 years, horrible lawfare, and nobody knows what that feels like better than you do. So we really appreciate the fact that you understand legal fairness and that you're always willing to fight for the right thing, for legal fairness. You never back down. You stand defiant, even in the face of an assassin's bullet. It's an inspiration to everyone in this room, I think. So it's an honor.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I just want to say it's an honor to work for you. It's an honor to work for a president who works every day to get so much done on behalf of the American people. Your administration is moving at tech speed. It's really amazing. It's actually faster than any startup that I've been part of. Your administration moves even faster. So I just want to say thank you for having me be a part of it. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I love working for you, and thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you, David, very much. Appreciate it.
And now I just want to pass the ball to Secretary Besson.
Scott?
David, so today, when President Trump has signed the executive order to establish the strategic Bitcoin reserve and stockpile, we're going to position the United States as a leader among nations in the digital asset strategy. It's important for the United States to recognize this fact and get ahead of the other nations in the digital age. We applaud the President's direction to use the digital assets already in possession of the nation, and we are going to establish this Bitcoin reserve. We will use this authority to augment the assets side of the United States balance sheet. As I've said many times, President Trump is creating assets for the American people, while most past presidents have created debt, and a large part of this asset program can be in digital assets. We are going to end the regulatory weaponization against digital assets. The Biden administration's actions did nothing other than punish innovators, and that all of you have made it here today is really a testament to your fortitude. Much of Treasury's responsibility in this order relates to the tax code and determinations around risk weightings, and I'm here to assure you that we are going to work with the controller of the currency, the IRS, and we're going to rescind and all applicable previous guidance. And we are going to put a lot of thought into the stablecoin regime, and as President Trump has directed, we are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stablecoins to do that. Thank you.
Technology is the foundation of the Trump presidency. He understands technology, he embraces technology, and he's going to use technology to drive America forward. The blockchain and Bitcoin technology are a key part of that thinking, and embracing that, and here today shows how much a leader the Trump administration and our president is. He understands it. He embraces it. As you said, you're a pioneer in this place, and this is where we're going. We're using the blockchain, we're using Bitcoin, we're going to use digital assets to pound forward, and Donald Trump is leading the way. Can't be more proud of you today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Howard. Kelly, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is truly a historic day, and as a crypto founder, I couldn't be more proud to be part of your administration. You're moving at the speed of tech for sure, and I will just say it's a great day to have the war on not just crypto, but the war on innovation done. And under your administration, we are truly going to enter into the golden age. And I'll just say, as the administrator of the SBA, small business is a tremendous network that crypto can be deployed against, and so the SBA is open to crypto. So I look forward to working with all of the leaders in this room to advance your efforts here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you very much. Tom, please.
Well, Mr. President, I want to say thank you. I want to thank you for the amazing team that you put together. I want to thank you for David. I mean, this kind of a meeting, no one in this room could have envisioned this just a couple years ago. You are the one that has the vision. You're the one that said we are going to do 21st century finance right here in the United States of America. I've been doing this for 9 years. It is amazing how far we've come, and that's a credit to you, Mr. President, and your leadership, and God bless you for doing this, because it's going to make a huge difference with everything else you're doing. And by the way, Americans love it. They're going crazy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Everybody else? Go ahead, please.
Does anyone want to say a couple of words? Cameron or Tyler, do you want to?
You're very shy in front of the camera.
Cameron, I think you said something earlier that I thought was really profound. You said that a year ago you thought it would be more likely that you'd end up in jail than at the White House. Not to put you on the spot, because you didn't do anything wrong, but that was the environment a year ago. But do you guys want to say something, either one of you?
Sure, that was actually Tyler who said that. but it's
sorry, I still get mixed up.
But yeah, we never thought that we'd get attacked the way we did in our backyard after trying to do the right thing for so many years and always trying to raise the bar with respect to regulations. So it's truly wonderful to see how things have changed and how the pendulum has swung back in the way that it has. And we've always felt that the U.S. should lead in Bitcoin and crypto, and it's ours to sort of lead and win. And it's just wonderful what President Trump has been doing with this, and we look forward to working together. And thanks for inviting us, David, and setting this up.
Thank you. Thank you both. Please.
I was just going to say thank you, Mr. President. Cameron takes credit for a lot of my things I say, so it's not the first time. But the U.S. won the internet, and the U.S. should win crypto. So thank you for your leadership on this.
Thank you both very much. high IQ individuals around this table. That's what I always say. We need high IQ. So thank you very much. Would anybody like to say anything? Please.
Okay, we'll come right.
I just want to express my deep gratitude for the seriousness with which you're approaching our industry and how you're actually helping guide it in the right direction. I've worked with many central banks in other countries, and when I was working there, I was wondering why I, as an American citizen, can't help the United States financial system reach this higher level that the world is on course towards generally. Right. And so I'm very grateful that finally there's been a new level of kind of common sense and adoption of these ideas. Me and the other people in this room do believe that the crypto, blockchain, Web3 infrastructure is the next iteration of the financial system. And I think that the U.S. should have its leadership position continue in that new financial system. And I'm very, very happy to see people like David Sachs, Secretary Bessent, Secretary Lutnick taking this very seriously with their time, and very grateful to them too. So I'm just overjoyed to see this, and I think it is a big part of how the U.S. can continue its role in the global financial system. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I thought it was very important that we stay in the front of this one. This is a big one. And as you know, China is pushing forward and very strongly as usual. But we're way in the lead, as we are in AI and other things, and we want to stay there. So I thought this was very important, and we have some brilliant people sitting around this table. And it's an honor to have you involved, but we want to stay at the forefront of everything. And this is a very important day in your lives. I know you worked, some of you, very long before people really understood what was happening. And so I congratulate you, but this is a big day. Being in the White House is a big deal, and you have great support. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, please. Thank you very much. Thank you, media. Thank you. Please.
Well, that was quite the roller coaster ride at the end there, but we do know, of course, that that was quite awesome to hear from each of the department heads, including the SBA, Kelly Loeffler, saying that she and the SBA, small businesses across the country, open to cryptocurrency. So words from the SBA leader there. And of course, Scott Bessent was there, Mr. Sachs as well. So President Trump meeting with a lot of people. I'm sure that meeting will continue on there. We want to thank you guys so much for streaming in all week. This has been quite the week of live coverage each day, day in, day out. But, you know, just bringing you live feeds and recorded feeds from the White House, various events happening, including next week. President Trump will be taking a trip way out of that White House all the way to the Middle East for Saudi Arabia. That'll be happening earlier in the week. So, yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing you on Monday. But here's the thing. If there's breaking news, whether it's today, tomorrow, Sunday, we are always on call when it comes to that kind of stuff here at the network. So we'll have either myself or Robert McNeely. We also have Ashley Brassfield and Christina Lorenzo sometimes that we can go live to as well. So we have you covered here as we monitor America First News and, of course, everything President Trump when it comes to the 47th Commander-in-Chief. So let's thank a few sponsors before we call it a night. And again, thank you for watching. So let's go to Colonial Metals Group. freegoldguide.com. Get all the information you need on gold, silver, tax-sheltered IRA, 401k. And you can also go to that QR code. So we thank them for being a sponsor. Let's also thank Tax Network USA. 800-357-1415 is the number. tnusa.com/RSBN. You can settle back taxes today. That's the number and the website to help you do that. Also, let's go to Berna.com/RSBN. If you actually go to that website right now, there's actually a RSBN page there for you. A great sponsor at the network, just like all of them are. So Berna.com/RSBN. It's a less lethal launcher. Learn all about this very popular product that's being sold throughout this country. Berna.com/RSBN. Let's also go to Kalshi.com/RSBN. You can see that right there, that people are actually trading on all of what President Trump was talking about there. So you can use the QR code as well. Kalshi.com/RSBN. Thank you guys for being a great sponsor. Let's move on to MyPillow as well. MyPillow.com/RSBN as well. You can get quite a percentage off with that promo code with the great products at MyPillow. Also, if you'd like to donate to Right Side Broadcasting Network, all you have to do is text RSBN to 801-801. So just text RSBN to 801-801. We also have a newsletter, rsbnetwork.com/newsletter. Get a lot of America First updates and offers, and just to stay in the know with Right Side Broadcasting Network through the newsletter, but also you could follow us on Truth Social, on X, download our app, the RSBN app, or go to our website, rsbnetwork.com. For all of us here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, everybody behind the scenes on camera here, Robert McNeely from earlier today, our great RSBN host, all of us at the network, myself, Matthew Alvarez, have a great weekend. If there's breaking news, we'll be right back right here on RSBN. Have a great day.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First news. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
Parents, do your kids know what courage really means? It's about standing up for America even when there's a target on your back. That's why Mike Huckabee's team created the Kids Guide to the Courage of the President. This important guide tells kids everything they need to know about President Trump's unwavering courage, and you can get it for free. With your free order, you'll receive free bonus gifts, including the Kids Guide to President Trump and a Christmas ornament commemorating Trump's call for us to fight. Get it all for free at freetrumpbook.com. That's freetrumpbook.com.
Hey y'all, it's Silk from the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live Show. Look, don't forget to check me out right here on RSBN Network. Be sure to watch the show on Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. Yes, it's imperative that you do so, okay? I look to see y'all soon. Bye-bye.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.